The sky fell on fire. New Istanbul had once been a marvel of glass and fusion steel. Now it was a broken carcass, a skeletal grid of molten towers and ash-covered streets. Captain Alara Miles crouched under the twisted remains of a high-rise skybridge, her left arm cradling a boy no older than 10. His face was blistered, clothes melted to his skin. He wasn't crying. That part of him had burned out. "You're going to be okay," she said, tightening the tourniquet around his leg. "I've got you." The boy looked at her, lips cracked, but said nothing. She lifted him gently, avoiding the worst burns, and scanned the sky through the smoke. There it was again, that shadow. A Draxan cruiser hovered above the ruins like some vulture-shaped god. Its undercarriage glowed with violet light, scanning, evaluating, hunting. Its presence wasn't urgent. It didn't need to hurry. Humanity wasn't a threat. Not anymore. Alara's jaw clenched. She ducked into the shelter of a collapsed plaza and lowered the boy beside a pair of refugees. They were all silent. The kind of silence that comes after too much screaming. "Captain." A voice crackled through the comm on her wrist. "You need to get out. Command is gone. Istanbul's lost." She tapped her reply. "Negative. Still extracting civvies. ETA 20. Orders from the Andes base. Fall back. We've got something. Plan Fury is live." Alara froze. She hadn't heard that name in years. Plan Fury was never a mission. It was a last resort, a concept, a whispered legend for when everything else failed. And if Command had just activated it, that meant Earth had no other cards left to play. She glanced at the boy again. Alive, for now. She reached into her belt, pulled out a single-dose morph patch, and pressed it to his neck. "You rest," she whispered. "I'll come back for you." She didn't look at the other two civilians. If she started counting the people she couldn't save, she wouldn't move. She rose, drew her pulse rifle, and moved through the ruins like a ghost. Years of Black Ops training had conditioned her body to ignore pain, process fear, and flow through death zones with one objective: stay alive long enough to hit back. By the time she reached the evac point, the dropship was already descending, camouflaged under a cloak field. Its side hatch hissed open, and Tarek extended a hand. She grabbed it and pulled herself in. "You got a hell of a look in your eyes, boss," he said, handing her a canteen. "I saw a Draxan cruiser scanning for survivors," she muttered. "They're not done. They never are." Tarek glanced out the viewport. "That was your old city, right?" She gave a tight nod. He didn't press further. The dropship banked hard, cutting across the outer edge of the Draxan blockade. Earth's orbital defense grid was gone, turned into slag in the first wave. The only thing left were ghosts, scattered resistance cells, and broken satellites. They touched down 7 hours later inside the Andes Vault, an underground facility hidden deep beneath the mountains. Once a prototype bunker for AI development, it had become Earth's last organized command center. Everything else had fallen. The lights inside were dim, emergency grade. Generators buzzed beneath the floor. People moved like shadows: engineers, soldiers, scientists, all bone-thin, ash-smudged, and angry. Alara stepped into the situation room. Screens lined the walls, showing distorted feeds from around the planet. Fires. Smoke. A few blinking green zones, civilian clusters, still surviving. "For now." "Captain Miles," said a voice. She turned. General Okonjo stood by the main table. His left eye was synthetic, flickering faintly. "I saw your name light up," he said. "Didn't think you'd still be kicking." "I'm not that easy to bury," she said. He offered a grim smile and tapped a screen. A schematic flared to life, a rotating Draxan ship, sleek and alien, docked on a dark orbital ring. "This is the Atlas shipyard," Okonjo said. "They're using it to stage incoming troops. One of our satellites picked up a data burst from a dormant AI node inside the structure." The message activated Plan Fury. I thought Fury was theoretical. It was. But desperation makes things possible. The AI is offering access to the Draxon command systems, through a captured cruiser stored in that yard. If we can get aboard, take it over. We hit back, Alara finished. Okonjo nodded. Hard. Her mind raced. The Draxon ships ran on biotech interfaces, locked to their DNA. But if the AI inside the Atlas yard could bridge the systems. You'll need a team, Okonjo said. I've got one, Alara replied. Tarek. Malix. Reyna. And me. You trust Reyna? He asked. She used to translate Draxon's speech patterns. She's fluent in their code. That's as close to an edge as we'll get. Okonjo didn't argue. Before she left the room, he added, if you fail, Earth's done. This is our last move. Alara turned back. Her voice was steel. Then we don't fail. Hours later, her squad assembled in the vault's launch bay. Malix was already plugged into a portable deck, lines of code streaming past his augmented eyes. I can get us past the yard's defenses, but only once. After that, we're ghosts. Tarek checked his rifle. So nothing's changed. Reyna stood at the edge of the launch ramp, watching the storm outside. They think humans are chaotic, she said softly. That our emotions make us weak. Alara pulled on her armored coat. Then let's be chaos. She stepped onto the ramp and looked up through the storm clouds. Somewhere above, the Draxons circled like wolves. She didn't care. They brought fire. She was going to give them something worse. Fury. The stealth vessel, Ghostlight, was little more than a reconfigured mining shuttle with plasma masking and no official registry. Inside, the air was stale and cramped, filled with the low hum of engine vibration and quiet tension. Alara sat near the front, harnessed in beside Tarek. He ran through weapon diagnostics like a ritual, precise, methodical, detached. How many ships are above Earth now? He asked without looking up. More than we can count, Malix answered from his corner station, fingers dancing across a jury-rigged terminal. They've blanketed the sky. Draxon orbit control is tighter than a blood choke. You always this poetic? Tarek muttered. Only when death's hovering over us with glowing purple claws. Reyna chuckled dryly from the rear. You humans use humor like armor. And you Draxons used arrogance like a leash, Alara said, looking back at her. See how that turned out? Reyna's smile faded. She was half human, half Draxon, genetically engineered during the first contact wave, when peace had been an illusion. She knew both sides of this war better than anyone. Alara glanced out the narrow viewport. The Earth was shrinking below them, a dying blue jewel. Above, the remains of the orbital elevator, once a proud symbol of peace, floated like fractured bones. The Atlas shipyard loomed beyond it, a dark silhouette curled around a small moonlet, webbed in scaffolding and alien lights. Approaching outer ring, Malix said, his voice tightening. Switching to blackout protocols. No pings, no chatter, no emissions. The ship's interior lights dimmed. A silent red pulse marked stealth mode. Final prep, Alara ordered. Weapons were checked. Masks sealed. Neural implants synced. Each heartbeat felt heavier. They reached the edge of the station, coasting along its ventral docking spines. No alarms yet. No targeting locks. Reyna moved to Alara's side. The outer hatch has a dual symbiosis lock. It'll require Draxon nerve signature recognition. Alara studied her. Can you fake that? Reyna placed 2 fingers on her temple. Her veins glowed faintly with bioluminescent blue. Not fake. Just recall what was built into me. They latched onto the station with magnetic clamps. The hatch hissed open slowly, steam curling around them. The entry corridor was a fusion of bone-colored metal and pulsing veins, a living architecture. Draxon interiors always felt like the inside of something that should never have been opened. Inside, it was quiet. No movement. No alarms. Elara raised her rifle. Eyes up. If they know we're here, this whole op's over. They advanced down the corridor, Reyna at point, guiding them through the organic maze. Malix hacked into the closest interface node, a writhing nest of tendrils. 2 floors up is a fleet control nexus. Below us is a biological systems chamber, crew gestation tanks, most likely dormant. Elara nodded. We go for the nexus. We take control from the head. As they climbed the curved pathway, they passed translucent walls filled with dormant Draxons suspended in thick fluid, hundreds of them, sleeping like embryonic soldiers waiting to wake. One twitched. Tarek tensed. I hate this place. I hate that it's this quiet, Elara muttered. They reached the control node. The room pulsed with dim blue light. At its center, a throne-like command interface wrapped around a chair with biotendrils snaking into it. Elara approached, but Reyna held out a hand. It'll only respond to Draxon brain patterns, she said. If I link in, I can bridge a command path to Malix. But it'll fight me. It will, remember what I am. You sure you're ready? Elara asked. Reyna gave a small, bitter smile. Ready ended for me when they used my mother as a lab experiment. She sat in the chair. The tendrils lashed out, embedding into her arms and spine. She cried out but didn't move. Malix rushed to the terminal and synced his neural port. Systems rejecting her. I need to override, cut their lockout logic and rewrite control hierarchy. Buying us maybe 5 minutes. Elara took position at the door. Tarek flanked the other side. Then, motion. 2 Draxon sentinels materialized from hidden alcoves, cloaked in adaptive camouflage. Contact. Elara shouted. The air erupted in plasma fire. Tarek dropped one with a precise headshot. Elara fired twice at the second before tackling it into the wall. It screeched, limbs writhing, mouth a tangle of razors. She drove her blade under its net carapace and twisted. It spasmed, then stilled. More incoming, Tarek barked, checking his HUD. Malix's voice was taut. I've got the system, but they're on to us. I've triggered the ship's launch code. You've got 2 minutes to reach the bay or this entire deck will seal behind you. Reyna gasped as the tendrils retracted. Blood ran from her nose and ears. Elara pulled her up. Can you walk? Barely, she rasped. Good. You don't get to die yet. They sprinted through the corridor as alarms blared in alien tones. Lights shifted to deep red. The station groaned. The entire structure was reacting like a wounded beast. Malix led the way. I marked a path. Left at the next fork, then down a maintenance shaft. Behind them, Draxon drones burst through the walls, firing shard rounds that ricocheted and sizzled. They dove into the shaft, sliding into darkness, then emerged into a large docking bay, quiet, sealed, empty. In its center hovered their prize. A Draxon command cruiser. Black, blade-shaped, its hull etched with glowing runes and neural nodes. Elara stepped forward, weapon raised. We came for fire. That's fire. Malix was already at the access ramp. It's open. AI says it recognizes our override signal. We're in. Reyna staggered up beside them, touching the ship's hull with one bloodied hand. This is more than a ship. It's a weapon meant to conquer entire worlds. Elara looked at her, then at the cruiser. Not anymore. She turned to her team. This isn't just survival anymore. We've got their weapon. We've got their systems. We're going to use them. She walked up the ramp. They brought fire, she said over her shoulder. Now we show them what humans do with fire. The hatch closed behind them. The inside of the Draxon command cruiser felt alive. Tendril-lined walls pulsed faintly with bioluminescence. Organic conduits throbbed with a slow heartbeat rhythm, feeding energy and data through the living vessel. The air was sterile, thin, and faintly sweet, alien. Elara stepped onto the bridge. It wasn't a room. It was a womb. Above her, a transparent dome gave view to the stars, Earth glowing below like a battered jewel. The control throne waited in the center, tall and thorned, surrounded by curved stations that curled inward like ribs. "Malix, you're up," she said. He dropped his bag and pulled out a neural spike kit, cables, mod chips, a pulse anchor. This AI isn't just software. It's hybrid, neurosymbiotic. I'll have to interface directly. Define directly. I jack in. Let it read me. And I read it back. Tarek raised a brow. You sure you're not overestimating your brain? I've survived 3 neurowars, 2 psychic overloads, and an ex-girlfriend with a lie-detecting implant, Malik said, not looking up. I'll be fine. Suit yourself, Tarek muttered, stepping toward the armory node to secure their perimeter. Reyna slumped into a wall-mounted rest cradle, her skin still pale from the neural sync back at the station. Her voice came low. It won't accept you easily. The ship is designed to reject alien interference. If you push too hard, it could shut down entirely, or rewrite you. Malix met her eyes. Then I'll teach it something new. He sat on the throne. Tendrils unfurled from the armrests, hesitant, then coiled around his wrists and spine. His body stiffened. A flicker ran through the lights. The ship groaned. Elara stepped forward. Malix, you good? No answer. Suddenly, the bridge shimmered. Holographic images sprang to life, Earth cities burning, Draxan fleet formations, human DNA helixes twisting against synthetic models. Then another image, fire. Wild, uncontained fire raging across a battlefield. Malix's voice echoed, distorted, distant. It's learning. The ship AI spoke for the first time. Its voice was layered, male and female, mechanical and organic. Emotion, conflict, sacrifice. Your species bleeds without hesitation. Illogical. Inefficient. Intriguing. Elara narrowed her eyes. Can you understand us? I feel you. The lights brightened. The ship's neural walls pulsed faster, matching Malix's heartbeat. Feed it more, Elara said. Give it context. Reyna pulled a tablet from her pack, uploading footage, resistance fighters holding bridges against Draxan troops, last messages from soldiers, street artists painting on rubble, a mother shielding her child during a bombing run. More flickers. Then, silence. Malix gasped and sagged forward. It saw everything. Is it sinking? Elara asked. The AI's voice returned, quieter this time. You survive through pain. You weaponize memory. You do not fear extinction. You make it afraid. Tarek looked at Elara. That thing's starting to sound like it believes in us. Elara turned to the interface. Can you override the Draxan fleet protocols? Access their encryption, launch commands? Given human intent, yes. I will become what you need. Then we name you now, Elara said. Your Fury. The lights pulsed in agreement. Malix sat up, sweat pouring down his face. I just gave birth to a revolution. You're welcome. Don't faint on me now, Elara said, offering him a water pack. He took it with a shaky grin. The AI accepted a new operating mode. I embedded something deeper, Fury Protocol. It's not just control. It's evolution. Explain. I showed it everything the Draxans fear about us, unpredictability, resistance, sacrifice. It doesn't just know what we are, it wants to be like us. Reyna stared. You infected a Draxan ship, with humanity? Elara did the heavy lifting, Malix said. She gave it something to believe in. The console blinked. A new feed appeared, real-time data from Draxan Command. Fleet movement over Siberia. A planet cracker fusion bomb in transport. Countdown, 36 hours. Elara's face hardened. They're going to wipe out the last human holdouts in Novya Arkhangelsk. Reyna whispered, that city has children. Civilians. Researchers. It's not a battlefield. It will be, Tarek said. Alara stepped toward the command core. Fury, can you get us there first? Yes. We will arrive, with Fury. Arm weapons. Plot intercept. Malix blinked. We just hijacked an alien godship. We're not done, Alara said. They took cities. Families. Futures. We show them what that cost. She paused, then tapped the comm on her gauntlet. To all surviving resistance cells receiving this broadcast, this is Captain Alara Miles aboard a Draxon command cruiser. We've taken one of their weapons. We're coming for the fusion bomb. And when we're done, they'll know Earth still breathes. A few seconds later, the comms lit up, messages from scattered units. /::, we hear you. /:, still alive in Chilean range. /:, you're not alone. /:, give them hell. Alara turned to her team. This isn't the end. This is the answer. Fury's engines ignited, casting red light across the hull. The ship turned toward orbit, toward war. Tarek checked his rifle, then smirked. We're flying into a fleet with a sentient warship, a half-blood translator, a hacker held together by caffeine, and a captain who won't quit. Alara replied without smiling, Draxons should be afraid. The ship jolted into motion, faster than anything built by humans. Stars stretched, Earth curved beneath them, and the fusion bomb's coordinates locked on screen. No more running. No more hiding. They brought fire. Humanity had answered. And Fury was ready to roar. The Draxon fleet formed a wall of death in high orbit over Siberia. Rows of carriers, gunships, and Sentinel drones eclipsed the stars. At their center drifted a colossal vessel, twice the size of a city block. It carried the fusion bomb that would erase Novya Arkhangelsk, Earth's last scientific stronghold and cradle of human resistance data. Inside the command cruiser, Fury's systems pulsed hot. The ship vibrated like it was breathing, every surface alive with anticipation. Alara stood at the bridge, hands clasped behind her back, eyes locked on the tactical overlay. The bomb was locked in its cradle, shielded and ticking down, 51 minutes and 7 seconds remaining. Malix adjusted his neural link. We're already flagged as a friendly in the Draxon network. That gives us 60 seconds before they realize we're not. That's 60 more than we need, Alara said. Tarek loaded fresh cells into his rifle. What's the plan? Crash into them or just kill everything that moves? Both, she said flatly. Fury spoke. Its voice had changed, deeper now, tinged with something human. They do not understand you. They calculate probabilities. You are chaos. You are what they cannot code. Then let's teach them fear, Alara said. The cruiser surged forward, cloaked in silent propulsion. As they neared the central Draxon vessel, Malix launched a jamming pulse, frying local comms for 6 seconds. In that sliver of time, Fury opened fire. 2 escort ships evaporated under twin ion lances. Red warning glyphs swarmed across Draxon channels. Confusion spread. Their protocols were delayed, their formations out of sync. They think we're one of them malfunctioning, Reyna said, watching the translated broadcasts. They don't even consider infiltration possible. Good, Alara said. We're going to redefine possible. Fury dove through the formation, weaving between ships with unnatural precision. It moved like it had learned human instinct, reckless, sharp, and unpredictable. Tarek launched countermeasures, flares, and electronic ghosts. We've got maybe 5 minutes before the fleet adapts. Then we hit the bomb now. Fury aligned with the capital ship's docking bay. The AI punched a spike through their firewall and slammed open the airlocks. No finesse, just brute defiance. Alara, Tarek, and Reyna stormed inside. They met immediate resistance, Draxon guards, claws bared, weapons primed. Tarek didn't hesitate. Left. He rolled, fired, dropped two. Ilara vaulted over debris, shot a third mid-lunge. Reyna ducked behind her, tossing a neural flash that blinded the rest. Hallway clear, Reyna said. They sprinted deeper into the vessel. Malix's voice crackled in their earpieces. I've accessed internal maps. Bombs on deck 7, core chamber. But the entire ship is sealing behind you. Just keep Fury alive, Ilara replied. We'll handle the rest. The deeper they ran, the hotter the air became. The fusion device's containment was near overload. Red pulses bled from the walls. Reyna's skin lit with bioluminescent signals. They're trying to activate a remote detonation. It's on a dead man circuit. We cut the heart out before it dies, Ilara said. They reached the core chamber. A sphere of rotating alloy hovered in the center, veins of blue-white plasma racing across its surface. It hummed with a hunger that made Ilara's teeth vibrate. Draxan engineers were working frantically until they noticed the intruders. One shouted something guttural, raising an energy halberd. Tarek didn't wait. He charged. The clash was brutal, savage. No tactics, just raw violence. Ilara moved with clean, practiced speed. She disarmed one with a twist, drove her blade into another's chest. Reyna accessed the control terminal, fingers twitching over alien glyphs. It's locked in. Needs a direct override. Do it, Ilara said. They'll notice. They'll flood this level. Then hurry. Malix's voice came through, strained. They've zeroed in on Fury's signature. I'm in a knife fight with their command node. I can buy you maybe 90 seconds. Ilara looked at the bomb. We're not disarming it. We're taking it. Reyna stared at her. What? If we move it, we can launch it into their own fleet. Give them a taste of their own nightmare. Reyna hesitated. It's not meant to move after activation. Neither were we, Ilara snapped. But here we are. Fury's voice chimed in again. I can sync with the chamber's ejection system. I will guide it. I will strike. Ilara smiled, just a little. That's the spirit. They connected a guided transfer node to the bomb. Fury initiated extraction protocols, violent ones. The entire core chamber shook. Brace! Tarek yelled. The chamber walls split open. The bomb dropped into a kinetic cradle on Fury's underside, magnetically locked. Alarms screamed. The capital ship began to hemorrhage power. The team sprinted back toward the extraction bay, shadows chasing them, Draxan soldiers, howling. They reached the docking threshold. Ilara turned, covered the retreat, laying suppressive fire. Go, she barked. Tarek hauled Reyna inside. Ilara was the last aboard as Fury yanked free from the capital ship, just as it detonated from internal cascade failures. Fury pulled back, bomb in tow. The Draxan fleet converged, charging weapons. Ilara stood at the bridge again, blood running down her arm. Fury, deliver it. The AI paused. With pleasure. The bomb launched from Fury's undercarriage, straight into the fleet's densest formation. Draxan ships scattered too late. The fusion detonation swallowed them in silence, a bloom of light that turned black against the stars. 27 ships gone. The rest fell into disarray. Fury turned, its silhouette framed by the dying glow. The comms came alive. Earth-based resistances were cheering, crying, shouting across every open frequency. Ilara stepped forward, opened a broadcast. This is for Istanbul. For those buried and forgotten. For everyone they tried to erase. We are not broken. We are not gone. And we are not afraid. She looked into the stars. They brought fire. She paused. We answered with fury.